entertainment and exciting things. Why don't we switch our focus over to movies? We're going to get to that first, and then we'll get to television right after. But movies, it's the 30th anniversary of Back to the Future. One of my favorite movies of all time. Great trilogy. It's so the 30th anniversary. A lot of touchstones on that. So there's going to be a documentary called Back in Time, which will air on October 21st. This upcoming year to mark the anniversary, and I think it's going to be great. It's just going to show actors and different things and elements that were made to produce the film and how everything came together. So I'm really excited for it. I know you're a Back to the Future fan as well. It was your yearbook quote, right?
Yes, it was. I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. I'm looking forward to this documentary as well. I think it's really interesting, a lot of the predictions that came true, that Back to the Future, from Back to the Future 1 and 2, their prediction about us being consumed by technology has really hit the nail on the head. So it's pretty interesting to see today what they thought back then.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. I mean, a lot of the technological things, they got some things right, got some things wrong, but the Cubs, that's still something that's up in the air, soon to be determined. But they actually are in contention. They will. It seems like they're going to make the playoffs, so they do actually have a shot at that. And some of the other technological advancements, such as like the Mr. Fusion, that hasn't quite come together, or the hoverboards or anything like that. Flying car,
DeLorean.
Yeah, flying DeLorean. So not quite there yet, but definitely some interesting stuff over there. So let's talk about, and just real quick, I want to mention that I'm such a big Back to the Future fan that I was Marty McFly for Halloween last year. So if we have a picture of that, we can show that up on the screen. Great. So speaking of interesting stuff and technology and futuristic things, you got me into a show pretty recently called Mr. Robot, and I found that show pretty fascinating. I've actually enjoyed it, what I've seen so far. I've watched 3 or 4 episodes, and it's been great. Why did you suggest that show to me?
It follows a group of hackers who attempt to bring down a financial company, ultimately redistributing the wealth to the people. It's gotten critical praise, particularly Rami Malek's acting, the direction, the writing, the visuals. It's all tremendous. I think it's on the level of Breaking Bad and The Wire. I don't think it's quite there yet, but it's a tremendous show.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's from what I've seen so far, it's been like one of those thrillers. Like Breaking Bad, kind of like every episode you're hanging on the edge of your seat, wanting to see what's going to happen next. So in that respect, I definitely think that it has some of those components, but at the same time, it's still a little early to determine. But from what I've seen so far, it's been great.
And I think it's important to note that USA has picked it up for a second season, which will air in 2016.
Right, and that happened right off the initial pilot episode.
Yeah, the first episode. USA saw the first episode, and it got critical praise. So immediately they signed on for a second season.
Yeah, and that's great. I mean, that's how if you get the first season or first episode, that's great under your belt. And then and
I think this will propel USA into the ranks of HBO and FX. They don't have as many programs as HBO, FX, and AMC, but I think Mr. Robot is going to help them get on their level.
Wow, it's quite a bold statement. A lot of confidence in this show, so I'll have to check it out. We'll see if you're right. Check that out, fans. So let's move on over to, so this is in its first season, going on to its second season. Let's talk about a show that is going on its 19th season. Just started back up again, South Park. Now, South Park is one of those cultural touchstones. It's been great, a lot of build up a tremendous fan base, and just through the 90s into the 2000s, and still resonating with fans today. So what have you seen so far? Why has South Park been able to do that?
Well, I think South Park, Matt Stone and Trey Parker are just always 2 steps ahead of the game. It's season 19 and they're still coming out with classic episodes. At this point, The Simpsons had already fallen off, Family Guy starting to go downhill, but South Park has still continued to stay on a a positive note. They just came out with the first episode on Wednesday night, and it got a lot of attention. And I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're not afraid to go. They're not afraid to hurt some people
Push
and
the boundaries.
push the boundaries,
Right.
exactly. So they do a good job with that, and they always keep fans entertained. And I thought last week's episode, PC Principal, that was funny, good stuff. So we'll look forward to more episodes throughout the season similar to that.